This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
A step back for Indianapolis and Marion County as coronavirus cases continue to spread. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. Today, Mayor Joe Hogsett and the Marion County Public Health Department announced increased restrictions for restaurants, businesses, and public gatherings. But first, a look at the latest update on the plan to safely reopen schools. We know families and teachers are keeping a close eye on the quickly changing guidelines for Central Indiana districts. Today, officials announced Marion County schools will not be allowed to hold in-person classes until August 5th at the earliest. And you can expect back-to-school plans to keep evolving next week when the health department will share more recommendations with school districts. The superintendent of Wayne Township says district leaders have been asked to reduce the number of students on campus each day.
The only way to make that possible and to continue the learning that's going to happen is to create a model where some of your students will be learning in person and other students will be learning through a remote or e-learning model each day. So the students will be engaged all 5 days, but it may look differently depending on each individual student.
And those plans will look different depending on the school district as well. As we learn more, you can find all of the latest announcements from Central Indiana schools in one place at theindychannel.com, and that page is being updated daily as new plans are released. Safely reopening colleges and universities will be the main topic of a discussion when Vice President Mike Pence visits Indianapolis tomorrow. He's scheduled to speak with higher education leaders at Marion University. At least one group is planning to protest across the street during the vice president's visit.
And following a spike in the rate of positive coronavirus tests, the Marion County Health Department is reinstating some of the coronavirus restrictions that were gradually lifted over the last several weeks. Now, starting at midnight, bars and clubs that do not serve food have to shut down. Restaurants cannot seat guests at the bar and can only operate at 50% capacity. Gyms must restrict capacity to 25%, and social events are limited to 50 people. RTV6's Cornelius Hawker spent the day in downtown where these latest changes are going to be felt.
People casually dining out on Mass Ave, many of them unaware of changes set to happen. But those who work in these bars and restaurants are already preparing.
Moving forward, it's going to be a little bit harder because people are more and more used now to coming out, and they've been used to being able to have a little bit more inside, and we're going to have to backtrack it a little bit.
Daniel Stockberger works at World of Beer.
People are already today showing us that they're not particularly happy with losing bar seats.
But to that note, Daniel tells me their customers haven't complained too much about their new setup.
We haven't had too many people that have been loud, as you see a lot of videos online of people throwing fits and making a mess, causing a scene. We really haven't had that.
They're also lucky because they aren't being forced to close like other businesses. Daniel knows some people who are now going to be out of work again.
I don't think that people are particularly happy about it, but I think that a lot of people expected it and have been trying to prepare for it, at least from the people that I've talked to and my friends.
Keep Indy open, wear a face mask. Signs like these are hung up across the city. Daniel hopes these new restrictions will show people we have to follow the guidelines put in place if we want to get back to normal.
Whatever we have to do to get the okay from the city to open up, we're going to do.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
And the public health order that outlines these restrictions will last at least until August 12th. You can read the details at theindychannel.com.
Today, the Indiana State Department of Health reported one of the largest single-day increases in coronavirus cases since the pandemic began, and that is 954. That's along with more than 12,000 reported tests. An additional 17 people have died from COVID-19. According to the Regent Street Institute, there has been an increase in positive tests in Marion, Boone, Hamilton, and Johnson counties. After pressure from Call 6 Investigates and advocates, the state has released nursing home deaths in cases broken down by facility. Until now, the state had only revealed the overall number of cases and deaths at long-term care facilities. The data shows 2 American Senior Communities facilities have had the most deaths. Harrison Terrace in Indianapolis with 38 and Greenwood Meadows in Johnson County with 35 resident deaths. 1,390 nursing home residents have died statewide since March 1st from COVID-19. And when it comes to nursing home staff, the state does not plan to release where nursing home workers were employed when they got sick or died.
Because there are so few staff deaths, to protect their privacy, we will not list totals on staff deaths for each facility. And also because staff may work at multiple facilities, it is possible that a case may have been reported involving a staff by more than one nursing home.
The new numbers reveal at least 12 nursing home workers have died from COVID-19. If you'd like to look at our nursing home database, you can find it in this story on the RTV6 app or at theindychannel.com.
And we are following a developing story in downtown Indianapolis after IMPD says 2 people were hurt in a shooting. It happened just north of Washington Street on Pennsylvania Avenue, not far from Monument Circle and 2 blocks from IMPD headquarters. IMPD says it began as an altercation in front of a liquor store. 1 person is in critical condition, another was seriously hurt. We are waiting to learn whether police have a suspect in custody. We will keep you updated at theindychannel.com. And a surprise announcement from the White House about the GOP's upcoming conventions. Meanwhile, Republicans continue to negotiate among themselves, but not Democrats, on the next coronavirus relief bill. ABC's Inez de la Cuerta reports from Washington.
As the number of COVID-19 infections in the U.S. tops 4 million, President Trump announcing he is canceling the Jacksonville, Florida portion of the Republican National Convention.
But I looked at my team and I said, the timing for this event is not right.
And continuing his push for schools to reopen.
I hope that local leaders put the full health and well-being of their students first and make the right decision for children, parents, teachers, and not make political decisions.
This as lawmakers on Capitol Hill race to pass another stimulus package before the CARES Act runs out at the end of the month. At stake, that additional $600 weekly unemployment bonus, as well as eviction protections.
$600 is important to a lot of households, especially to my household that cannot go back to work.
Senate Republicans now killing the payroll tax cut the White House had been pushing for, but President Trump blaming Democrats, tweeting, "They are hurting the working men and women of our country." Democrats asking for more funding for testing and tracing.
And what we have seen so far falls very short of the challenge that we face in order to defeat the virus and in order to open our schools and to open our economy.
As the White House and Congress continue to negotiate this new bill, this morning Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said he doesn't rule out the possibility of yet another stimulus package. Inez de la Cuerta, ABC News, Washington.
An Indianapolis business struggling to keep its doors open, all because of the coronavirus pandemic and shutdowns. As RTV6's Cameron Riddle shows you, the owners of Stacy and Rick's Soul Food restaurant say it's going to take more than customers to keep this small black-owned business from shutting down.
The coronavirus pandemic has had an impact on everyone, but that impact continues to be devastating for small business owners like Ricky Fowler, the owner of Stacy and Rick's Soul Food, where sales are down by 50%.
It's been a lot of stress amongst me and my kids because a lot of things they were used to getting, we're not able to do anymore.
Stacy and Rick's has been on the corner of 34th and Sherman for 11 years, but their doors have been closed since the spring. Fowler says the shutdown dug his business into such a deep hole, he doesn't know how much longer it'll be until the doors are closed for good.
It's hard to say. It could be in the morning. If I don't get any help from the 3 months that I lost, then yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
To make matters worse, Fowler is in a high-risk category for COVID-19. It's the reason he's kept the restaurant closed up until 2 weeks ago.
I'm diabetic, high blood pressure, and African American.
Fowler says he was forced to come back to work to support his family of 5 and his 6 employees. He says he's been denied every loan or grant he's applied for.
They promised that once we closed down that we were getting the unforgiven loans, which I never received. I actually even talked to someone at Governor Holcomb's office, and they said the money was in the pipeline. Where is the end of the pipeline?
Fowler is now depending on his customers to keep the doors open. He says even with a steady stream of customers, it's going to take something more to save his business.
The customers are coming in, but it still can't make up for that loss. You know, it's a big hole. It's a big hole.
In Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Well, Fowler says part of the issue is that he has not been given clear reasons why his requests for assistance are getting denied.
Wearing a mask will soon be mandatory in the Hoosier state, but an initiative has been underway for several weeks in Marion County showing Hoosiers there's beauty in masking up.
Low temperatures comfortable headed into the weekend. We'll talk about the high temperature trend and our next chance of thunderstorms coming up.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
A movement is encouraging Hoosiers to mask up and protect one another, showing Hoosiers there is beauty in masking up. The City of Indianapolis and the city's Arts Council are investing in local artists for the greater good. You might have already spotted artwork like this throughout Indianapolis in restaurants and businesses. It's part of an effort to build awareness about the importance of wearing masks so the city can make it to the other side of this pandemic. Sometimes words are not needed to send a message. And in this art, it is all about empathy. A flower placed as a symbol of hope for growth, cardinals for Hoosier roots, and even a masked hot air balloon to add some humor among the instilled uncertainty of our times. It's Indianapolis artist William Denton Ray's depiction of our society.
It kind of reinforces the impact of community when the characters are so close together and they're being safe and encouraging the community to wear masks. And again, the idea of just a cultural, group of characters coming together.
William is one of 6 local artists taking part in the city's initiative called #MaskUp Indy, an effort to encourage everyone to wear a mask.
The color of the art that I did is kind of happy and vibrant and hopeful. And the idea of that is to try to, make people hopeful that we can get past this by just simply wearing a mask.
For business owners like Neil Tafflinger, the co-owner of Homespun Modern Handmade on Mass Ave, he says everyone wearing a mask will help keep them open after what is and has been a very trying year.
Like everybody, it's been a roller coaster. It's such a simple thing to do to reduce transmission rates. It's going to be a long time before we really have a normal flu season or a normal anything. So anything that we can do that's small and doesn't take that much effort, we might as well.
His store is celebrating a decade in business this year as it continues to honor local artists who provide all the products on his store shelves. And now, on his storefront windows, is this artwork.
I hope it builds solidarity so people realize as much of a politically divisive issue it is, it's really about public health and safety. And it's really about empathy. If you look at what a lot of the artists are doing, the message behind their artwork is care and concern for other people.
Amanda Kingsbury is with the Arts Council of Indianapolis. The city of Indianapolis worked with them for #MaskUpIndy as a social awareness campaign to share a non-threatening but appealing visual call to action in hopes to keep the economy open and keep the city vibrant.
The one by Israel Solomon right now, you're seeing somebody hold flowers behind their back to present to a healthcare worker. And then there's another one where the main subject is kind of thinking of 3 distinct people in her life that she cares about and her eyes are closed.
These 6 pieces of art, all beautiful with a different aesthetic and style, together all share one message of hope for the future by having compassion now. And the Mask Up Indy campaign is made possible through $20,000 from the Federal CARES Act. That includes payment for the artists, thousands of posters, and large banners that will soon be placed throughout downtown. To get one of these posters for your business, go to our website at theindychannel.com.
Great artwork to see there. Indiana's statewide mask mandate goes into effect Monday. It applies to public indoor spaces and outdoor spaces where social distancing is impossible. But casino workers say the key to mask rules is enforcing them.
I don't feel protected at all. You go by them once and you say something and then you come back by 20 minutes later and they're still without a mask.
For about a month, employees and guests of Indiana Grand Racing and Casino in Shelbyville have been required to wear masks. Since there's an exception for smoking, drinking, and eating, workers we spoke with say the rules are rarely followed. Organized by their union, 200 casino employees across the state have signed a petition demanding better enforcement of mask policies plus affordable health care.
The Rebound Indiana is showing you how groups are stepping up to help Hoosier families in need and where you can get help if your family is struggling to make ends meet. For families in Johnson County, the Refuge is offering food assistance and other types of support. Just this past week, the organization moved into a new space they decided that would better meet the needs of their families in their community. The Refuge is a faith-based community outreach center supported by local churches, organizations, businesses, and individuals. The collaboration serves the need in Johnson County thanks to donations and volunteers. But it is much more than a food pantry. Their normal procedures had to change due to COVID-19 precautions. But even so, the staff and volunteers still work to get to the root of why a person is in need so they can connect them to ongoing support and resources in the community.
The idea was we didn't want to ever be just a handout. We wanted to be more intentional and really build a relationship with the families that were in need.
Their new location is located on 1150 South Park Drive in Greenwood. That's near the Sam's Club store. For more info on services they provide, how they are keeping volunteers and clients safe during the pandemic, and ways to volunteer or donate, visit our website at theindychannel.com/rebound.
Well, if you have activities for the weekend, no worries. Tomorrow, then Saturday and Sunday should be dry all 3 days. Our next best chance for thunderstorms really arrives Monday across central Indiana, and once again should be fairly widespread rain. Let me show you rainfall potential, 1/2 inch to 1 inch across portions of central Indiana, actually a big chunk. And you know how this works. With the humidity high again by Monday into Tuesday, any downpour could easily bring you up to 1 inch of rain. 75 with the dew point temperature at 65. Gradually, we're lowering the humidity. We may see in the morning just some patchy fog, and I don't think it'll be widespread. The wind is light, and with skies clearing tonight, enough moisture around, we'll see some patchy fog to begin the day. This is probably not the highlight of your weekend, but you're good to mow next 3 days as dry conditions will dominate and the grass probably growing again after a recent rainfall. 71 at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Comfortable, the humidity level lower than it has been for the last several days, and we'll have a light north wind. These are all pretty average temperatures for this time of the year, in the mid-80s, a couple of spots warmer than that as you go to the south and west. Temperatures over the weekend start to climb a little bit. Now, the humidity is still not too high Saturday. Different story Sunday. That tropical feel comes right back, and that pushes the heat index value into the mid-90s. Saturday forecast, pleasant in the morning, not bad in the afternoon, warm, 87 with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. But again, the humidity held in check. There are your temperatures from north to south, and pretty uniform. There'll be a couple spots in the southern portion of the state that will reach 90, just foreshadowing where we're headed on Sunday for most everyone. The heat index, Sunday is the story, should hit 96 with that afternoon humidity, and highs right at 90 or a little above. Early next week, that's our best chance for any widespread thunderstorms. So that comes Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, really the rest of next week, humidity levels will be down and so will the temperature. Into the low to mid 80s for high temperatures. Looking beyond the 7-day forecast, all indications are that temperatures will continue to trend a little below average. And again, we're starting to see the average high work its way down now as we come out of summer and start thinking about a change in seasons. Now that's down the road a little bit, but at least we'll back off our average high of 85 by the end of the month.
All right, Kevin, thank you. The rescheduled Indianapolis 500 will take place 1 month from today, but tomorrow is your last chance to get tickets for the August 23rd race. There is now a limit of 25% spectator capacity for the event, which is in line with the restrictions announced today by Mayor Hogsett. The track has lifted the local blackout, so you will be able to watch the race live on television this year.
A programming note: if you are a Dish customer, our parent company Scripps and Dish are currently in contract negotiations, and the station may go dark tomorrow if an agreement is not reached in time. If you are a Dish customer, you can call Dish and express your concern. And if this channel does go dark, you can always find us at theindychannel.com. Hiring Hoosiers is helping you navigate the increasingly competitive job market. Tonight, how to get ahead of the pack when it comes to the new job openings.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Hiring Hoosiers continues its commitment to helping you find a new job or career path. We're teaming up with the Indiana Black Expo for a virtual Hiring Hoosiers Employment Opportunity Fair next Thursday, July 30th. It's taking place from noon to 4 p.m. Employers will be sharing immediate job openings. To get connected, visit IndianaBlackExpo.com. Here in Indiana, a number of Hoosiers filing first-time unemployment claims dropped last week to the lowest level since the pandemic began, but thousands are still looking for work. Alicia Neves shows how to take advantage of the hidden job market.
Unemployment in the U.S. is still alarmingly high.
People are feeling overwhelmed when they listen to the news. They feel overwhelmed when they see that 1 million extra people just filed for unemployment.
Sarah Johnston runs the company Briefcase Coach and is a job search strategist helping people find work in this job market.
But the good news is that my clients, and I know from looking at LinkedIn updates, people are getting jobs.
Finding a job right now is not easy. It is competitive, but Johnston says if you search in the hidden job market, you'll find better success.
The hidden job market are all the jobs that are unadvertised online.
An employer may be planning a promotion or expanding but hasn't announced that yet. If you can get to know hiring managers before new jobs post, you'll have a better chance of topping their list of candidates. So how do you search for a job in the hidden job market?
Tip number 1 is to understand what your options are. You really need to know your target companies. Who hires people like you for the work that you want to do?
She says create a target list of companies you want to work for and find out who are the hiring managers. Then move on to tip number 2. See who in your existing network may know or have connections to those managers or someone in that list of companies.
The final tip would be do not be afraid of being proactive in your job search and making contact or reaching out or getting an introduction to the decision maker or the hiring manager at your dream company or companies on your target list. Only takes one conversation to change the entire trajectory of your job search.
Johnston partnered with LinkedIn for a more in-depth course on navigating the hidden job market. It's free to LinkedIn members. I'm Alicia Nieves reporting.
And you can check out more jobs that are available right now at HiringHoosiers.com. We'll be right back. This unique animal is home safe and sound at the Columbus, Ohio Zoo. The zoo says its female red panda, Cora, disappeared from her habitat Wednesday morning. Team members have been looking for her around the clock and taking care of Cora's young cubs. Well, just a few hours ago, the zoo announced Cora has been found. Some guests spotted her in the bushes near the zoo's elephant enclosure. Glad to hear that.
They just didn't recognize the elephants had been pointing into the bushes with their trunks, you know, kind of going like that, but nobody knew. Okay, lower humidity tomorrow, lots of sunshine, temperatures in the 80s, that's comfortable. Midday temperature at 78. There are those afternoon highs. Again, with lower humidity, that will feel pretty good. And it's Friday.
We're so close. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. Good Morning Indiana starts at 4:30. Good night.